Once upon a time, two men decided if they were making the cut. Then they made the cut. And now JT and Aaron are talking everything from wrestling to pop culture and beyond, because it's no holds barred.
Will you back down, turn and run, or stand up with the best? When you're back to the wall, what will your answer be? Will you run for the door? Will you run out on me like it's hard?
It's my world, my world, my world. Yeah.
You only get to do that because the rest of us are muted. Why would we want to hear that song now?
I just unmuted myself. You could do the same, you know.
Can
You
I?
just hit the button with the microphone. It's very simple.
Yeah.
How about now?
Who cares?
What?
No holds barred. We're back. Welcome in audio listeners, visual viewers. We're here on YouTube visually. You can subscribe. See the button right there. Just hit that and like away. Leave some comments as we go. Tell us how stupid we are or how awesome I am. And we can love to read your feedback on air. If it's
How we should keep our opinions to ourselves if we're podcasters. Should definitely
if
do that.
you're listening, thank you. Subscribe to our audio feeds as well. And of course, everything available at northsouthconnection.com. I'm JT, joined as always by my buddy Aaron here on No Holds Barred. It is draft day. It's always exciting when we're in the war room. First one recording after the NFL draft, so that's always, fun. We outlasted them. So
I
that's
know I
good.
can't contain my excitement.
We have our draft star with us. That's not the tool man, Mr. Timothy T. Taylor. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be here. I got my belly full of buffalo chicken casserole, so we're good. I'm happy. I'm content.
What is a casserole?
It's anything that's in a dish that gets
That's
made.
it. It just has to be in a dish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never fully comprehended what it is.
I had some Chick-fil-A casserole earlier.
Nice.
I put it in a dish.
I had some bread in a bowl.
I did have Chick-fil-A though in honor of it. I hadn't had it in forever, and my daughter kept asking to go, so I finally went.
What's your go-to sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Okay.
Polynesian for me.
Oh.
Play it straight.
Little taste of haku in my mouth.
To me, the spicy chicken, so I don't put anything on it. I eat it as is.
Okay.
I
See, I
use
do
the
this-
sauce for the fries.
I do the spicy chicken with the Polynesian sauce. And it's
I'll
like,
have to try it.
it's the greatest thing I've ever tasted.
I'm trying not to get hooked back on it because it took me a while to really break the habit. So.
Don't be stupid. You're going to go
Just
there.
don't get a bun. No bun. You can order it without a bun.
Oh, the bun is so good, though.
The bun is good.
Look, they
Anyway.
care about Jesus and they care about buns, and I'm here for the buns.
Speaking of great buns, also with us is Steve Riddle. Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Stand up, Steve.
Dang.
Look.
Let's see it.
No, not safe for work, unfortunately. But I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back.
We know
The
who's
first
not wearing
best buns
pants.
winner. The first best buns winner since Sunny in 1996 Slam Ace is Steve Riddle. So
That's some fine company.
yes. Speaking of Sunny, it's our compadre Chad Campbell, my partner on Wrestling Warzone, rounding out the quartet of drafters here tonight. Hi, Chad.
That is correct.
Okay.
I love
He is just all business. He's wearing a t-shirt, but he might as well be wearing a tie. So
Hard hat.
First off, Polynesian sauce, easily the goat sauce. No question. Second, I think this will be our most civil draft.
Not if I have anything to say, my
I think
friend.
the Guardians may set the record for the most civil. That was probably the.
The Guardians was so strange and weird. Like,
I know.
Everybody
it was
was
awesome.
nice.
Well, and that, as I predicted, there was no chance anyone was going to even want to have the same pick as someone else. So it was it was more like a list than a draft. So
yeah. We
anyway,
came close at one point.
We did.
There was a Sunny situation where we almost overlapped. But
We're all about Sunny tonight in different
I
ways. All right, Tim, you want to go over the rules for tonight?
and what the
And
draft
topic.
is.
And the topic.
I would love to. So, in honor of, I don't know what we're in honor of, but we are talking about a topic of conversation in a lot of wrestling circles is like the best year of a particular superstar. Not giving away like picks or anything, because that's not what I do here. But I know that you and your friends have sat around during a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam or anything and just picked each other's brains on like best year ever. And that's what we're drafting here. So these 4 fine compatriots around me are going to comprise a list of 6 superstars who've had the best 12-month stretch at any time. Now, the caveat is it does not have to be January to December. It can be any 12-month period
A rolling
in
12.
the history of their career. It's only a year. So it doesn't have to be what would be called a case quarter. It could be a whole, it could be however you want to do it. So we will go around the horn, 6 rounds. And of course, the draft, as always, it's a serpentine draft.
Ride the snake.
That's right. So whoever goes first in the first round will go last in the second round, moving forward. But we have to determine the order
One thing
of
too.
this
There's one
draft.
rule that we said.
Go ahead.
It's an anti-rule,
yes.
really. A wrestler
it's
can be used more
contrary.
than
Yep.
once. Yes, a wrestler can be used more than once. So if I take Nikolai Volkov 88, 89,
I can
Riddle
take him
can
in
take-
90.
you could take or 94, 95, which is probably his best year. So you can, can take that Nikolai if you need to. We didn't put any parameters on time, right? So I mean, whatever. If you want to go back to the 60s for your dude, you can have at it. So like it's just kind of open WWF forever.
I'm not going to argue anybody, any picks. I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong because, again, it's opinion. So even if I don't agree or not, you're entitled. You guys are all entitled to what they are. I'm merely here just to keep the train on the tracks and make sure we get from station A to station Z in a nice, calm, and tender order.
As always.
So
next time I want to see you in an engineer outfit, top to bottom, please.
I have a train whistle, but it is downstairs.
You need the hat. If you don't have the hat, I'm not interested.
I'll get you
I'll
that.
see what I can do.
Need a conductor's hat.
Amazon.com. Do we have an Amazon click-through that I can
We used
just
to.
throw?
It
Okay.
used to be burned in our minds. PlayStation.com/Amazon. Steve, is your
There we
house
go.
on fire? Are you okay? Okay. It got a little hazy for a second. I was worried.
No, I've got the blinds open. The sun's kind
Okay.
of peeking in through. So yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was just worried because I'm like, I know you're dedicated, and I don't want you sitting through a, fire hazard in your
Meanwhile,
house.
the creeping darkness is closing in on Chad as you're saying that.
I'd be like that that meme with the dog with the house on fire. I'm like, this is fine.
I gotta make that last pick.
I've never seen carbon monoxide poisoning in real time, and this
There
is
we go.
it.
It's exciting.
Nailed it. It is exciting. But we have to pick an order of this draft, and I didn't really think of a topic.
No, you've only had a couple weeks.
Look, man, just to let you know, I really come up with these things on the spot.
All right, let's do it.
So,
Whoever's house is not on fire gets first pick.
I'm out.
who has the closest birthday
Oh god.
To what? To today?
to today's date, air date?
Forward or back?
Doesn't matter.
Closest.
Closest.
Yes.
Might be Aaron. Oh, Steve, when's your birthday?
It's August 2nd.
Might be Steve. I'm
Okay.
January 11.
Okay.
I'm August 10th, so Steve screwed. me.
Price is right.
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah.
took you down.
I got,
Those two are over. They're
I got
over.
birthday prices right. in Riddle.
Riddle me
Okay.
this.
There it is.
I mean, he
Steve,
may
you-
be dead by the time the first happens. So I might
Actually, you
get-
know what,
Just
Eric?
get
Give me
started.
1 second.
All right, go close.
What is
It's
happening in his house?
freaking me out. It looks like a smog situation.
The
We
sun
can't let
is
him pick.
the sun is showing all of the particles in his
It's like
room.
the end of Rogue One where the thing comes at them on the beach.
his WrestleMania entrance. He's got the fog machine going.
That's
He's
right.
ready.
He sure is.
He's crossing the graves.
And in honor of your natural fog machine, you get to pick the order of today's draft. So, what's it going to be?
All right. Well, usually when it comes to these things, I'm never the first one, so I'll go ahead and give myself first choice. Then second, I will give to Aaron. Then Chad third, and JT last.
Collusion as usual.
It sounds good.
Thank you.
You better not take Akeem.
A scholar and a gentleman, Steve.
All right, let me get my screen share.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking
A
take all the
screening?
Akeem right before you.
I'm taking Gus Fring, season 5, Breaking Bad.
Oh,
I'm
you should have gone with
season
season 4.
That's what I meant, season 4. I think he's dead in 5. Spoilers.
He
I
is
believe
a
he's
little
blown
dead.
up.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh no, that's the
Oh,
wrong
nice.
thing. I didn't click
Nice.
that.
Good for later.
Yeah.
My draft board.
There we go.
Moving some stuff around. And let's set this order, shall we? So it is
Steve,
Steve, Aaron,
get
Chad,
JT at the back.
JT.
Yeah. Back of the bus.
Best buns.
Seats taken.
Send it. Why won't you go? There we go. Beautiful.
It keeps moving.
We're in order.
No, we're not.
So
Chad, were you the kid in
were.
Forrest Gump
There it
that
is.
said seats
Leave it alone.
Because that sounded exactly like that.
Yeah.
all right.
Like him.
So Steve, you are officially on the clock with your first pick in the best year ever draft.
Okay, well, there's pick quite a few guys that could probably be in the running for the number 1 pick. But for me, I'm gonna go with a guy who had
Common with
probably probably one of the best years, not just in ring, but also as a in his character, which he was never always probably best known for, and that's Bret Hart from November '96 to November '97. From the time he came back, he comes back in '96, and right off the bat has that great match with Austin at Survivor Series. Then he kind of starts kind of getting on the kick where he feels like he's being things aren't going his way. He starts kind of getting a little bit, starts turning a little heelish. Then, of course, it all culminates at WrestleMania, that awesome submission match with Austin where they do the double turn. Then, of course, by the spring, he's got the Hart Foundation with Owen, Bulldog, Neidhart, and Pillman, and just goes on this incredible run. Culminates in the summer, Canadian Stampede with a great 10-man tag, and then he becomes champion again at SummerSlam. Then kind of starts going a little bit downhill from there as he's kind of not the focus anymore. He has, that solid match with the Patriot. The tag at Bad Blood's kind of okay, but then of course it culminates at Montreal with the screw job, and he's, that pretty much is the end, and that's pretty much the end of it for him. Then he goes off to WCW, and the less said about that, the better. But
Say no more.
It's a good first
Yes.
pick. It's a really strong first pick. It's definitely one of the best years, especially when you factor in and Chad and I are living this in Wrestling Warzone, like how down '96 Raw television was, and how great it gets in '97 is, a lot of it's driven by him. So
Yeah.
and you
And the
never
good-
thought he would have that heel run in him.
The good thing about November to November 2 is you can actually, with the dates, get both Survivor Series. You get 96 and 97. I know 97 is not maybe his most shining moment, but it's certainly memorable.
I mean, I think at that time, like Survivor Series '97, Brett might have been height of powers. Like we
I would-
get to
yeah.
ultimate Bret Hart
Right.
form, and then it's just incredible how squandered Brett became just like a month later in WCW. Incredible.
I'm not going to let this happen again, okay? That was the first thing, right?
That's right. Can't stand for injustice or unfairness or anything of the sort. Speaking of injustice, what am I saying? Aaron, save me, please. Go.
You want justice? No.
That's right. Here's a Sid pick.
Well, listen, I think that Bret Hart pick is a very good pick. And I'm going to pick something that I think there's some great matches in here, but it's not only about the matches. It's about a character being at the height of his powers and a character completely dominating the wrestling world. They see me rolling. They hating. I'm going Stone Cold Steve Austin from December 8th, 1997, which is the night that he throws the title,
Fucking
the
bastard with
Intercontinental
the exact
title,
dates. All right, we know.
into the
Yep.
river.
Yeah, throws the bridge. Yeah. Okay.
until December of 98. So you
That's a good
get
pick.
you get the whole year of Austin McMahon. You get all the build. You get all of those classic segments. You get all-time matches with Mick Foley. You get a great SummerSlam build-up with The Undertaker. I think you get a pretty solid feud with Rock in there too. But
My nitpick is you should have went November.
to get
You get Brett at Survivor Series, and December is not really. I know the bridge thing is cool,
No,
but
you're talking about a whole other year. Brett
oh
is
right,
Yeah.
right. I'm
96.
sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I thought about it. I thought about taking Brett Knight like from 96 to King of the Ring. From Survivor Series 96 to Survivor Series 97 with Austin.
Yep.
But I think 98 is just his touchstone
Yeah,
year
yeah.
where he's just completely dominant, turns the wrestling world around. Maybe the most important year ever for anyone. So
Yeah.
that's my pick.
That's a good one. It's the only thing though is that you do miss out on like that early part of '99 up to WrestleMania 15 because that build from Breakdown to WrestleMania is just so epic.
Mhm.
But like you said, you got all that stuff in there. I mean, just that.
Well, would you
fall-
sacrifice that build for the 98 build? Because I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and plus '98's got the best stuff because like that's just between Breakdown and Judgment Day, you got everything from like the Zamboni to the hospital to the concrete to the cement truck and
Holding him
Yeah,
hostage.
Can I
Yeah.
ask one
Bang
thing on the
316.
rule? Are we allowed to take overlap at all, or no? Like, what are we going with that?
I
Or
would
do you
say
wanna,
no.
like-
I would say no overlap.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say you can take
fine
a
with it, just
guy
curious.
and you could take a
Any other
different.
time.
Yeah, but if you
Okay.
encroach on another person's year,
Okay.
then that's gone.
Yeah.
Chad, you
Sure.
are up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty simple. There's a few I think can go in the first couple of rounds. So I'm just gonna go with CM Punk from the Pipe Bomb promo to June 2012. I think I really wanted to hone in on like Aaron said, matches, but also the moments too. So I think he has that. And then I think in 2012, I do at least get like the Jericho feud, which has some great
great.
matches mixed in. And he's kind of really coming into his own. And you get, I don't know if it exactly works out, but if you do get the heel turn on the Raw 1000, that may be one day or whatever afterwards. But it's headed that way. So I think that's like a seminal year for him and the company. And it's really, I mean, when you think about it, like for me, like that's the last time I was like
Yeah.
really, really passionate. There's another one later that I may pick, but this was when like WWE was my number one promotion during this time period. And that's the last time I can say that.
It's funny because I thought about this era a lot, and I think it's a really solid pick. In my head, I couldn't get around the fall.
That's
Like,
where I got stuck on it too. A little
Like
bit.
it was
Yeah.
just such a because everything else except for the fall is so good, and then that fucking it's Triple H again, right? Like,
Yeah, it's rough.
but the rest is so good that it offsets.
Well, I
it.
like that. I thought about. Well, I won't spoil picks. Yeah, I mean, I think there's down for most of the pick. I mean, it's really when you start researching this, it's really tough to get a consistent
Oh yeah, it's
12
impossible.
months where everything
Right.
hits. Because like even with Bret Hart, we talked about it on Warzone. Like, I mean, obviously the Austin match is an all timer, but
It
after
sucks for a
that,
couple
for
of months after
November
that,
and
yeah.
December, there's not much. So there's 2 months there.
And his 97 fall is also not good, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing when you do it like this. And I think like I thought if we didn't go calendar year, it would be less restrictive, which I think it is, but it's still tough to find like
yeah.
12 like banger years, 12 banger months of voting candidates. So
Just got to bang every month.
yeah.
JT, you are up to go back to back.
All right. I'm going to take Scott Criscolo from PTB February 2011 to February 2012.
Great
Oh,
pick.
I guess not.
He was at the height of his powers.
Yes, that's it. Downhill since. But all right, my pick. Making up from March of 1998. No, actually, I'm sorry, April 98 to April 99. So,
Who is this?
sorry, it was Vince McMahon.
Okay.
So I'm not going to get all of the Austin stuff, but I'll get the Vince stuff, which includes the Austin stuff. So you get, if you go from April '98, kind of right after Mania, you get starts with the nut tap from Austin, and it goes all the way through to his, WrestleMania 15, Austin being the Rock. So you get the Valentine's Day Massacre, you get all the great Raw moments, you get the Rumble, the No Chance in Hell, the chasing the chicken, all that stuff. So one of my favorites of a character of all time. Not many matches in there, but you get a ton of character, top level character stuff. So all right, and I'm gonna be the first person to take someone from Steve Bennett's time frame. I'm gonna go back to the '80s, and I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan from April '86 to April '87. So I'm gonna get WrestleMania 2. I'm gonna get Paul Orndorff, and I'm gonna get all of the build to WrestleMania 3 with Hogan, Andre, including WrestleMania 3. So.
Nice.
And then I'm going to have them come together in 2003 and have a match at WrestleMania.
No, you're not.
That is such two very solid picks.
So now that
It's
I've won
tough
the draft,
to-
what are we going to do next?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know about that. Let's calm down.
Didn't even pick the best Hogan year.
Oh, yeah, it's an awesome Hogan year.
It's good.
Not the one I had on my list. So.
Oh,
Fucking
Well,
milk
let's
hype. If
see.
it's not on your list, it's an F.
yes.
We have a saying
Yeah,
when we go
fun.
grocery shopping: if it isn't on the list, it doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
there you are.
That's how I go.
It's his most powerful year right there. Biggest feuds.
So Chad, what's next on your list, good sir?
I'm gonna pick somebody that's already been selected, but another year, and I'm gonna go Steve Austin. And this one has the moments, but this is somebody I do think has the match quality for all 12 months. And I'm actually, I think he's one of the few candidates where you could go calendar year here, just do 2001. But I'm actually going to do December 2000 to December 2001 because I think when you get to December 2001 and he starts with the Booker stuff, like there's some comedic elements with that, but then the what just gets out of control, which I know it was hot at the time, but rewatching it, it gets kind of grating. And I really love his performance in the Hell in the Cell in 2000, Armageddon 2000. So I think that's really like when you saw like, okay, like he's came back from his injury. He's on the rise. But just, I mean, watching his 2001, I watched way too many matches worldwide in 2001.
He's
And
great.
I mean, he was clearly the best wrestler in the world. I mean, you had Japanese, Mexican, like there was a ton of great wrestlers that year, and Austin stood above, and he had great variety. I mean, the classics with The Rock, of course, like at WrestleMania, a 5-star match. I think anybody would say that, correct? Like it's definitely, I know, be an idiot not to put that at 5 stars. But also, I mean, the Benoit stuff, and then really like the stuff with Angle too throughout the year. Like that starts with that January Raw, and that does go into Vengeance 2001. But I mean, like that feud throughout the year, they were just magic. every time they were in
You
the
could
ring.
have, if you start like the day of Armageddon, you could have Vengeance also. You get both.
There we go. So thank you. I'll take that. I'll take Armageddon to Armageddon as the bookend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to top, like, if you looked at average match grade, like, that's it.
Oh no. Austin
Yeah.
is on fire.
No one's
that
going to
year.
touch it.
Yeah, I think I mean it's the whole. I mean to me, like to argue against myself for a clear great pick that makes me win the draft. But anyway, to argue against it, I mean the moments the heel turn it does get weird. Like when you, especially when you get to the fall of the Alliance. I mean it's a weird time frame where like Angle's the spy and all that stuff. It's a mess. But I mean, as soon as he turned, like the crowd was still wanting it to happen. It was just, it's one of those things where it's like, it was very ballsy of them to turn him at WrestleMania X7. He went all in to try to get that over, and he did get the correct reaction in some instances, but I mean, the crowd wasn't as burned out on him as a Hogan in '96, where it was
Yeah.
way past time for it to happen. So the
Yep.
crowd was receptive to it.
The crowd never turned on him the way they turned on Hogan, the way they turned on Rock. And I
Yeah,
don't know if they ever would have. He
yeah,
was just too popular.
too much, or not too, just not too burned out too. Like it was still too fresh that you could remember 98, 99, all the glory years.
For sure. For sure. I think it speaks to more of just like it's crazy to think that you would consider like a 4-year stretch as have like a supernova type effect
Mm-hmm.
where it's just you're hot and you're so hot and you stay hot for that long.
Mhm.
Where with so many other wrestlers, they can get that hot, but can they stay that way for
Ever.
longer
He's
than
never
a
cooled
year?
off. But he's never cooled off. I mean, once he got hot, like literally to this day, I mean, to WrestleMania a year ago, like he's still molten anytime he's around. So
Right.
Yeah. He just hasn't been oversaturated. Like there's not. I mean,
Right.
maybe Bischoff is probably the closest, but even then, like
he's still over all through 03
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
I would
I
say
mean-
the closest he gets is probably the sheriff stuff at the end of 03. Like it's kind of like, all right, like we thought he had this big idea and he's just it's the same thing, just with
right.
less rules around him. Like that little stretch from like when he gets fired at Survivor Series 03 until he's done at WrestleMania 20, maybe is like the shakiest stretch he has, or early 02. I mean, like that little run from
That's the booking, though. It's not. They're still
Yeah.
all in on him. It's just they don't
Yeah.
know what to do with him during that.
yeah,
period.
they're kind of out of ideas. But anyway, all right, Aaron, let's go.
Okay, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm really happy that this is falling to me now, because I'm going to pick someone who I think had an incredible seismic effect on the promotion and probably doesn't get enough credit for pushing the promotion in a different direction when he comes in. I don't think he himself causes it, but I think in the same way that CM Punk, I think CM Punk really opened their eyes to indie guys, right? Like I think he doesn't get enough credit for his how revolutionary that was and how influential he was. And I think something similar happens around this time period. My dates are going to be November 29th, 1991 to November 28th, 1992. And I'm taking the Nature Boy Ric Flair, which
Good pick.
this is like my favorite time period, like probably ever. But I don't think it's my heart going over my head in this instance. Like I think Flair is so good in this run. The chaos that he brings to the promotion. He's as much as Survivor Series 91 is not a great show. His match is actually I love that first match. I think it's really fun. It's mostly because of him. The classic Rumble. You get all the stuff with building up to Savage at WrestleMania 8. You get all the TV. And then you finish off with the incredible turn of Mr. Perfect and Heenan. And like, so I think it's just a really great year for him. I think he does shift. I don't know if they go to Bret Hart right away, if they don't see Ric Flair as champion first. So yeah.
The thing you could have maybe shifted is just he is on my list, but I had him January to January because then you get the Loser Leaves Town, which is great.
That's yeah. If you go to so
you could have went Rumble 92 to Rumble like the night after Rumble 93 or whatever. I think it fits in. I think it just gets in.
I think I prefer the Survivor Series match to the loser. Not that I think maybe the Loser Leaves Town is a better match, but I think that Survivor Series match just sets up the character like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like he gets beat up in the match, he's running around the whole time, and he sneaks out that win, and everyone's angry.
I had the same exact dates as you, Aaron, and I do like that Survivor Series match a lot, and also I really like the Hogan house show matches from December, so you do get that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, he's just so good on the TV too. Like he's I mean, it's funny because in all these other past things, I've always been arguing pay-per-view. But now I feel like my guys are much more heavily TV based. Not that Flair's pay-per-view matches aren't good. I think they're all great, but the TV really strengthens.
I mean, you could even, if you wanted to like kind of shift it up, you could even do like September to September. You don't lose a ton in the fall. I guess you lose the perfect turn, but you pick up the Piper and Vince thing on Superstars.
Yeah.
And when's the Thunder Lips promo? Isn't that like earlier in the fall too? Or is that, do you get that?
It's in the build up to Undertaker and Hogan.
Right.
So
you might I don't know if you get it in yours, but whatever.
I
I'm just saying,
wouldn't.
if you wanted to play with it a little bit, like that's a great TV segment when he knocks.
Oh,
He
it's
attacks
amazing.
Piper in the TV stand and knocks out Vince and all that. And
Yeah.
so you could do that too.
Nice. Steve, you are up with the back-to-back. A lot of good years and a lot of good wrestlers still on the board.
Yeah. Well, I think we can ask a lot of fans today. One of the things that we definitely miss is that long-term booking that we usually don't see a lot of today, like we did back in the day. But I would argue that in the modern era, there was no better example of how great long-term booking was and the payoff we end up getting than Sami Zayn's April 2022 to April of 2023. From the after losing that insane match to Johnny Knoxville, he was just like at his lowest point. So he turns to the bloodline for some comfort and support, and just seeing that entire like build to him earning their trust to the point that Roman makes him an honorary member, and him just kind of ingraining himself in the thing. I mean, he made feeling Usi a freaking just just part of the lexicon for fans, to the point that Roman broke character and cracked up about it. That's how great it was. And then obviously all comes it builds and builds and builds. You get the great War Games match, the Survivor Series, where he is the catalyst in them winning, and he eventually gets accepted by all of them, including Jay, who had been kind of leery about it. Then things kind of start to slip as we get to the new year, and then it all finally comes to a head at the Royal Rumble when he's given the choice to go after his longtime best friend Kevin Owens, and instead he turns on Roman, and it leads to their great match at the Elimination Chamber, where he comes so close to winning, but he doesn't, and then eventually Jay, who had teased kind of staying by Sammy's side, and then turned on him to stick with his brother, and then Sammy and KO reconcile, and it leads, like I said, to WrestleMania this year, where Kevin and Sammy won the tag titles in that epic match. And I know, I'm sorry, Ric Flair. He says that his Charlotte and Rhea should have main evented night one, and as great as that match was, there's no way, there's no world where that tag match wasn't the main event, just for how great that build was, and just how incredible of a payoff it was to see these two guys who have been best friends for so many years. They've been great rivals. To see them on the biggest stage of all as the unified tag team champions was just an amazing payoff to that storyline. So I think there's no doubt that that year for Sammy was one of the best ever.
You're not going to hear an argument from me on that. That's solid. I mean, that's as good of a modern era pick as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, he is a catalyst of change in the direction of WWE storytelling for the bloodline. Like,
I don't know if I'd agree with that. I mean, I'd agree the year is great, but a catalyst of change, they didn't
for the
change their
bloodline
plan.
story.
They didn't change their plan.
Dose of poison.
Yeah, but it goes back to what we were talking about after WrestleMania.
It definitely changes the focus of the bloodline away from Jay and from it being a Jay and Roman story to Sami Zayn making it like have an extra wrinkle.
It did give an extra wrinkle. You're right.
A wrinkle in time.
That's right. Steve, let's add another wrinkle to your list. Your third round pick.
Okay, well, for my third round pick is another storyline that was this one was definitely a lot more driven by the fan base, just because of how much this guy got over so naturally. And again, you could argue like what was the ultimate plan for him, but I think what we ended up getting for the moment at the time was great, and that was Daniel Bryan's run from April 2013 to April 2014. So basically Mania 29 to Mania 30. He starts that period off with with Kane, with Team Hell No. They're having a great run. Then they lose the tag titles to the Shield, and they kind of end up splitting off. And of course, Bryan wins the title at SummerSlam from Cena in an excellent match. But of course, it all leads to Triple H turning heel. Orton cashes in his Money in the Bank. He becomes champion. Of course, the Authority is born. And their fall run had its moments, but I think ultimately it didn't, ended up Brian ultimately doesn't win, and then he gets kind of shuffled away from that. He and Punk do their feud with the Wyatts, and then eventually Brian joins the Wyatts, and of course it caps off with that great turn from him and right before the Rumble, and then he and Bray have their great match of the Rumble. Then of course, everyone thinks he's going to get the Rumble match itself. He doesn't. And then it eventually builds and builds from there. He does the hijacking of Raw with the fans. And of course, it leads to him beating Triple H at Mania, leading to him winning the world title at Mania against Orton and Batista. So again, just a really kind of great capper ending. The only thing that hurts it again is what happens afterwards. The fact that he gets hurt not long after that, and he has to relinquish it. But in that moment, seeing him with those two belts in the Superdome with all the confetti flying was just such a great capper to the 30th Mania, and it gave you kind of that same same visual, similar to Brett at 10, to Benoit and Eddie at 20. It was that same, that same feeling you got that this guy finally had achieved his big goal, and you were praying that you're hoping it was going to lead to something great. Obviously, unfortunately, it didn't. But for the moment, it was just such an amazing capper to this guy's year.
Yeah, I mean, without question. I mean, Daniel Bryan standing tall at WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania, as my good close personal friend Marcus, co-host of WWE War, would say, WrestleMania Dino Bravo 1. It is absolutely incredible that year, and of course the timing is just right, because again, you pick any time a little bit later, you're cutting into Daniel Bryan going through the hardships and being hurt and having to relinquish the title, and ending it on the high of WrestleMania 30 is definitely the sweet spot for the Yes Man. Aaron, you are up for round 3.
Okay, so for my third pick, someone I didn't think would still be available at this time or hadn't been picked yet. He's kind of a tricky one, and no matter what I pick on this, I'm sacrificing something. So I got to pick what to sacrifice. And I'm actually going to pick a year where this guy is inactive for some of the year, because I think the highs that you get are so high that it more than makes up for it. I also was thinking about another guy whose character work was so good during this period. I was going to kind of leave him for the end because I didn't think anybody was going to take him. But in taking this guy, I think I get it all, which is good. So I'm taking the Macho Man Randy Savage, and I'm taking from WrestleMania 7 right until the beginning of right before WrestleMania 8.
He was on my short list.
Yeah, I tossed around WrestleMania 3 to WrestleMania 4 because you could get both. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say picks. But to me, like, this is Savage at his most intense. Like, you get the really cool, you get the amazing match with Warrior, the emotional climax of that. But then you get the Jake feud. And I think that Jake feud is like,
Stinks you can't get 7 and 8 together.
I know. The dates just don't line up. But in the end, I've already got Flair, right? In theories, I've got that match in theory. And it's cool because they kind of keep them apart until then. So it really is almost 2 different years, right? So anyway, I needed Savage on my list, and I'm happy with that time frame.
He was tough to lock down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See if he gets. I mean, there's.
But did you guys see any other options other than the 2 that I mentioned?
Yeah. I mean, I had one more that I thought of that I may pick.
Still do.
Yeah. We'll see.
Still available. I mean, especially is it a need for you to pick now, Chad, or do you think that
I'll say
your
it.
flex is
later?
I
mean, I like it. I just he was somebody that's difficult because it's like when you think of, I mean, when we do GWWE finishes 1, and he's very high on my list too. But in the confines of this draft, like, he was tough to have. Like, okay, I mean, I think 3rd round's fine, but he felt like somebody that, like, you would have thought Mike could have had like a 1st round level year, and he just, I think in the confines of this, he just didn't have that. So
nope.
Does that speak to more of like his spurtability, where he has a lot of high moments, but it's pockets of time?
Well, they cooled him down a lot. They would just like sideline him a lot,
Yeah. I think if you could get 7 and 8, it's a 1st round pick.
Right.
Mhm.
because then you get those
Definitely.
2 matches. But because you can't get both, he gets relegated.
Right.
Yeah, that's
sure, for
the frustration of Mania being March and April. It's
Mhm.
like it screws up a lot of these.
God, that is a conversational topic that I think that could be had or should be had is should there be a fixed date for WrestleMania every year, kind of like Wrestle Kingdom? We always know it's April, it's January 4th. Like,
Yeah.
can they always say the first Sunday in April or the last Sunday in March and just always be then and just
You think Easter and stupid calendar, the way it works,
right?
screws it around.
Yeah. Oh, the calendar, the foil of it all.
Oh, Julius Caesar.
That's
Bastard.
right.
Deserve to die.
Someone should
I
stab
know.
him.
Give him the what for. Chad, you are up.
Oh man, I don't know what to do. I'm so tough. I think I'm gonna pick who I actually thought Aaron was picking
Shit.
when he was going through his
Sid.
spill. I'm gonna pick Brock Lesnar. I think he's also somebody that's kind of tough to lock down a
Mhm.
period for. I'm going SummerSlam 2014. through
Damn it! That was
SummerSlam
my next pick.
2015.
Fuck you.
Nice.
Um,
Do
That
the
was
2
where I was going.
SummerSlams fit? Do
Yeah.
they both fit?
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That was going to be my exact pick right there. Next exact to the date.
well, I
Brock's
mean,
on my list. I just had a different year.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. You get the
The 2
squash of
SummerSlams don't
Cena.
fit.
Oh,
on.
You only get one of them.
Okay, well, we'll go the 2014.
Good call.
I can do without the Taker match.
Good call.
But yeah, I mean, I think once you look at it, you get the Cena match and then the 3-way at the Rumble and then the Reigns stuff. It's just
Yeah, it's
he
great.
he felt kind of at the peak of his powers as far as being dominant. But then once you had the Reigns match, I mean, I don't know. Like, I still think that's maybe the best main event in WrestleMania history. Like, when it comes down to it, as far as in ring until the finish. I don't like the finish. I know that may be controversial, but
You don't like that it's a cash in, or you don't like that Rollins wins?
I just didn't like the way it was done. I thought it was inconsistent that they never said like he could just rush in and do that. And I think it cheapened like that the crowd. I mean, just with Reigns, like this will turn into a Reigns thing, but they'd like tried so hard to get the crowd behind that guy, and the way that match was worked, like the crowd was behind Reigns, like he was showing his toughness, and it was the first time somebody was giving it to Brock in this like dominant run. I mean, you just seen Cena demolished and everything else, and even in the 3-way at Royal Rumble, the way it's worked, if it's just like, oh, it's action, 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 but like Brock had an answer, right? Like he was in the right place, right time for everything.
Right.
And that match wasn't worked that way, but yeah, I mean, it's a great Brock year. He feels like a monster. And
What do you think of the Night of Champions match?
very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's where I'm at with it too.
Yeah.
It's like the lesser version, but I
Yeah,
really I don't love that Cena wins by DQ, but
No, it's not great. I mean, the stuff with Cena is interesting with Brock because I mean I think Extreme Rules 2012 is the best match of it all.
yeah,
Like
right.
that's just an amazing match.
but again,
But
a bad ending to
the
that match. Though.
finish, yeah, like of the matches I rank 5 stars, that may honestly have my least favorite finish. Like it's possible because I disagree with the finish, but I still think like the match is so amazing that it's 5 stars.
So for your rankings, then, like, because for me, this is probably way too nerdy, but for me, I can't rank it 5 stars because I think the finish is so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
how does
I
that
mean,
work for you? It doesn't.
It's one of my lower. Like if you look at my overall 5 stars, it's in
Right.
the bottom, quarter, probably 10% for sure.
Right.
Yep.
It's a product of good rounding, I would say. It's like a 4.9999. You can't have that rounded up to 5, and and sneak it in.
That's why you have the 10-point scale. Like my
That's-
5-star matches are 9.8 and above, so you can slide that in as a 9.8 and be on your way.
That's fair. I actually like that a lot better. It gives a lot more variability. But JT, go ahead and hit us with your pick 3, and then we'll do a mid-draft recap to give you time to jostle your brain for your pick 4.
I mean, I've only had 40 minutes between picks, so I think I'm all right. But I'm going to go ahead and go for the hat trick of Steve Austin. I'm surprised this one's still out there, but I feel like I got to get some Stone Cold. So I'm going to go Survivor Series 1996 till whatever the equation is in 97.
You get both. You get both.
Okay,
You
so
would
you get
get
both.
Survivor Series 97.
Yeah. So, you get the Brett matches, both of them. You get the Rumble win. You get all of the Team Canada stuff throughout 97. I mean,
The
awesome
tragic
Raw
neck
stuff.
breaking.
Yes, you get the SummerSlam, which is a great match until he gets hurt. But then even the fall after the neck breaking is great TV. We're stunning everyone right before he's going to break out. So, you know, I didn't get that Brett stuff, but I'll get the Austin to mirror it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is when I was toying with like the thoughts of Austin in my mind, I wanted SummerSlam 97 somewhere. And so my thought was maybe you go August 97 to August 98 and you cut
Yeah, that could have been
Because
good.
you
cut
can't.
some pieces
It's
out.
because you can't get both SummerSlams because that 97.
Oh, right,
is
that
like
one's early,
in
yeah.
the month,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Right.
you need the first one to be later. It gets
Right.
I spent too much time thinking about this shit.
And I didn't spend enough time because like when you guys drafting, I get to kind of be like the first listener. So it's really awesome to like hear all of you guys actually hypothesize and
I
do
think
your little.
I think this proves out that Austin's probably the best. Like, I mean, as far as like full year, I mean, this guy's got 3 years on here, and you could argue all 3 are like maybe the best 3 years in company history. I mean, really, like there's not a lot of flaws in those 3 years for him. Right?
No.
And it's not like 99 is shit either for him.
Oh, you could easily. So
Like-
what would the gap be that's left in here? December 99 to December 2000 is like you still get like a ton of stuff, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well, December 90 or
Oh, sorry, December
January 99,
98
January to
99.
January.
huh?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a gap in there that you could take.
Yeah, you could do all of 1999. That wouldn't be.
Yeah,
you know.
you could do December to
Only-
December 99.
Yeah, 'cause
December
you only
98
missed
to
2
December
months with
99.
them.
Yeah. And it's not as good, but it's still
It's still
stellar.
great. And you
Yeah.
get all the, big McMahon stuff and Undertaker feud and all that and whatever.
That shot of him at WrestleMania 15 with like his foot on McMahon, his hand into the air and the beer, like that should be as big a shot as Hogan slamming Andre.
Right.
But it's
Right.
never been elevated to that point.
That's very true. But giving a quick recap of what we got, you guys see it at home watching on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, ring the bell, see whenever we're here for the next draft and other iterations of No Holds Barred. We're also here, JT and Aaron by themselves, going through the entire lexicon of title changes for the WWF. So you can't miss it for No Holds Barred. But for Steve, you got Brett from November 96 to November 97, Sami Zayn from April 22 to April 23, and Daniel Bryan from April 13 to April 14. Aaron is second, has Stone Cold from December 97 to December 98, Nature Boy Ric Flair from November 91 to November 92, and Macho Man Randy Savage from March 91 to March 92. Chad's got CM Punk from the Pipe Bomb to June 2012, Stone Cold from December 2000 to December 2001, and Brock Lesnar from August 14 to August 15. And then JT has Mr. McMahon from April 98 to April 99, Hulk Hogan from April 86 to April 87, and Stone Cold Steve Austin from November 96 to November 97. And JT feels like he's loaded the spaceship with the rocket fuel. He's ready to go with his 4th pick.
I'm sticking with the star power theme. I'm going to go back to the turn of the decade, 89 into 1990. And I'm going to take the Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 5 to WrestleMania 6, which you get both. You get, because it's April 2nd to April 1st. So you get the Rude match of 5. You get the Rude match of SummerSlam. You get the whole Andre feud. And then you get the 90 Rumble, which is awesome, of course, one of the best Rumbles ever. And then you get the Ultimate Challenge. So
You get the Survivor Series 89 too.
yeah, which is
he's
great,
really
too.
good in that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a meteoric push and rise. That's his best year ever. He's
yeah.
awesome, and just getting the Ultimate Challenge for me was worthwhile. But to also get the whole Root feud, and just like the juggernaut that he was. I mean, when you look back historically, you're like, oh, they don't help him after WrestleMania 6. Hogan was still hotter, but like he was hotter or as hot as Hogan through most of the 89 to 90 run. I mean, it was.
No.
The of today, people be going fucking crazy if they didn't have him win that match, right? Like that's how over he was going into WrestleMania 6. So I wanted to stay with the big star power, and that's like just a dominant year for him.
And I just want people to know, I had no idea where he was going when I said to load the spaceship with the rocket fuel comment. This is completely kismet.
An Insane Warrior like
pick.
promo. Yeah, there you go.
That's right. But
Hulk Hogan.
Assume the controls, Chad. Your pick is next.
I'm horrified how recent my picks are for my draft. But
It's weird. What are you doing?
The Miz 1819 is lined up.
Ultimate Warrior was on the short list, so that was a good pick. I'm still going to be fairly recent, I guess. I'm going Chris Jericho. This is from basically Judgment Day 2008 through Judgment Day 2009. You get both. So that gets all of the Michaels feud, and then leads into the stuff with Steamboat, and then also gets that first Ray match. Just a great year. I mean, he was really, when he came back, he was
shaky
so much. Yeah. So like, not great. And then as soon as he starts, that's somebody that when he turns ill, like he just leaps off the page.
Yeah, we've covered it all on the Place to Be podcast, and you've heard it. It's just like an incredible run, and I mean, even like he's a guy too. I think it's a rarity for that time frame to have a guy with 2 consecutive years. But I think his May to 09 and May to 10. It's like not to give away picks. You probably won't go, I'm guessing, but it's like what where we are in PTB. Like I'm in the fall of 09, and he's still awesome. Like you get the whole Ray feud. The Jericho team is so good. And then into 10, you get the title feud with Edge. So it's like you still get some really good stuff.
I mean, he won, like, say what you will, like, he won the Observer Award for Most Outstanding Wrestler for both of those years, 2008, 2009. So
right.
He had it both.
The reinvention of Chris Jericho was definitely something that was, everybody talks about The Undertaker being one that can reinvent himself. Jericho is obviously always in that conversation, but that iteration, the No Country for Old Men, Chris Jericho, that is peak prime height of powers Jericho. And that's crazy because there's probably 2 other height of powers Jerichos you could probably pick from and not be wrong. But this is the one I think that will have the most staying power because I think it's so different from everything of Chris Jericho, but still giving you that same charisma, that same in-ring work that you're used to seeing, whether it's Lionheart or it's the Master of 1004 holds or whatever. Good pick right there, Chad. Aaron, you are up.
So the way I work these drafts is I basically have a spreadsheet with everything ranked, right? Like in this one,
Shocking.
I know, right? It's 1 to 47, right? In this one. And like, I was expecting some of my top picks to be picked. And I understand they might not be your top picks or whatever, but this one's still sticking around. And I'm going to have to pick it because it's just too good not to.
You got to pick be true to your own board.
I know. And despite the fact that I had these like sneaky ones that I thought would be really good, but apparently they're not, they're too far down. So I'm going to go with, again, something shockingly recent, something that I've gone on record criticizing a lot. I'm going to go from SummerSlam 2020, and you get 2020 and 2021, and I'm taking Roman Reigns. I'm taking the Tribal Chief. You're getting all the Jey Uso shit. You get an incredible Kevin Owens feud in December, January. You get Daniel Bryan. You get the stack him and pin him with Edge and Bryan at WrestleMania. You get all the stuff in the spring, the build. You get Cesaro. You get Bryan on SmackDown. And then you also get the Cena payoff at SummerSlam. My critique of Roman Reigns' current run has always been it was started out so strong and then kind of has been the same thing ever since, which is why I took the strongest part.
Well, I know who won the draft for me. I'm done. I don't have to.
Yeah, I
worry
mean, it was on
anymore.
my list too. It's definitely, it's the only thing I'd even consider taking from any pandemic era stuff, only because
Yeah.
it is so good and his best. I mean, nothing else would even
Yeah.
rate. But, and like I said, you get the Mania Tampa match, which is like just a great moment and atmosphere as part of it. So
And like when you look at the like we were talking about, who are we talking about had like it was Austin who had like the biggest star ratings, right?
Yep.
I think this might rival it because like every pay-per-view match is like, at least for me, and this is someone who doesn't like him too much, right? But I think I got the first Jey Uso match at like 4.5, the second one at 5, the Owens one at 4.5, the Cesaro one at 4.25. Like it's that nonstop
Right.
for the whole year.
Yeah. It's this era of Roman Reigns. It's like mastered the WWE main event pay-per-view style.
Yeah.
And he can work this match with anybody in their sleep. Like it's borderline Flair levels in Jim Crockett. Like bring anybody in, I'm gonna work this match. Whether it's Sting, whether it's Luger, whether it's Magnum, whoever it is. Like we're gonna have a great match.
I also feel that in this era, it's not as excessive as the matches are now.
right.
These matches aren't 40-minute matches where like with 10 million kickouts, like some of them are, but like I feel like every match now is that. Whereas this was
Right.
you still got, at least the beginning, you got like a really cool dominant heel champion.
Yeah.
Which I really
Yes.
like.
Right. I would love to see that come back at some point. It's hard to say if we're going to get the toothpaste put back into the tube,
You won't.
but time will be the greatest teller for that one. Steve, you are up for round 4 and 5.
Okay, before I think of, because I have a couple in mind right now, just really quickly verify, since JT took a guy from April 89 to April 90, I can't pick anybody else from that same time frame, correct?
No, you
Or
can.
I?
You just can't take like
You couldn't take
Warrior
Warrior
to
from
May
like
89 or something.
August.
Oh, okay.
You
okay.
couldn't take Warrior from August 89
right
to August.
Yeah, you can
90.
take someone else. You just can't
But
take
you could
the
take
same
you could
guy
take Rude
overlapping.
if you wanted.
Yeah, you just can't take.
Yes.
Yeah, you just can't take the same dude in an overlapping month.
Okay, that's okay. Just want to verify, because I have a. I'm actually gonna kind of flip the script a bit here, and I'm going to go with a tag team
Mhm.
that had a great run during that same period, and that's
know where you're going,
Demolition
yeah.
from April 89 to April 90. They of course went into WrestleMania 5 as the champions. They completed their year. They had the good match with the Powers of Pain and Mr. Fuji. Then they have a good little house show run with the Twin Towers that spring, and in the summer have the feud with the Brain Busters, where they trade the belts back and forth. They had the really fun 6-man at SummerSlam, them and Duggan against Andre and the Towers. They're part of that, them, Jake and Hogan, the star-studded Survivor Series '89 team. The matches, what you'll want to make of it, but it's
You don't
still.
need it. It's all the moments. I mean, this was on my list too. It's arguably, I mean, it may be the best single year for a tag team, and like a real tag team, not like superpower tag team, but like a
Right.
pure tag team year. I
Right.
mean, it's pretty high. Like there's some later, like at the turn of the century, but like, I mean, they're just the pops alone at WrestleMania 5 and 6 make this worthwhile to put on here.
Right.
They were on my list this
'Cause-
exact time frame.
So like it culminates at 6 winning the title, the Colossal Connection, just the pop they get
Yeah,
when
it's
they
awesome.
win is just incredible.
And that's really
It
the end
was-
of them as a team. I mean, they start to kind of lose their direction right after that. I mean, Crush debuts almost immediately after WrestleMania, so it's like that's really almost the ending of them. I mean, I think 4 to 5. Like again, I'm not to give away picks. I can't imagine they're going to go, but like from WrestleMania 4 to 5 is also one that is a great run for them too. But I like 5 to 6. So good pick, Steve. What do you got next?
Yeah. And then for my next pick, I'm gonna go the later 2000s with a guy who is I think had a really great run when he was the champion. That's John Cena from September 06 to September 07. From him winning the title at Unforgiven 06 against Edge in the TLC match in Toronto, overcoming the hostile crowd to get win that. The end of 06 is kind of up and down. He's got some decent stuff in there, but then you got the feud with Umaga at the beginning of 07. Their awesome last man standing match of the Rumble, the good tag match at No Way Out, then the 2 matches with Sean at Mania, and then the one in London, which is great. The 4-way at Backlash is really good. The fact that he carries Khali to 2 very serviceable to good matches is really commendable. The match with Lashley at Great American Bash, I think, is very underrated. Then he has the matches with Orton at SummerSlam and Unforgiven, which are pretty good. And then obviously does include No Mercy when he gets hurt and he ends up having to forfeit the belt. But that run of his from September 06 to September 07 might be his best run of his career.
Have you checked the black smoke behind you lately?
Well, that's now the sun's going down, so now it's getting a little darker. So
Yeah.
if you watch the when me and Ryan did the Rollins Omos build for Backlash, it gets dark in there too. So
I struggled with Cena a lot because I wanted to find a way to include the JBL bloodbath at Judgment Day 05, but
Mhm.
also the ECW One Night Stand in 06. Because I think ECW One Night Stand 06 might be low key one of his best performances ever, just in terms of how he carries himself. And
Right.
it's an impossible puzzle.
Yeah, I had
It
the
is.
same exact dates that you picked, Steve. I
Yeah, me too,
I
yeah.
like these dates because you mentioned it, but yeah, you get the one night stand and then you get the Orton SummerSlam match. So it's good pick.
Well, Aaron, let's see if you've got at least one more good pick left in you,
Got about
or
50
maybe
of them.
2.
Doubtful.
Probably not. Man, this is like, I wish we had like 8 rounds now.
I know. I got at least 3. I really
Yeah.
Yeah,
want.
like I've got a bunch that I
Actually, I
want
got
to
4.
include.
There's 4 I really want. So
All right, so this is kind of an off the wall pick a little bit, but I'm gonna take it because I think this person deserves to be recognized, and I think that it's really hard to nail down a 12-month period for this person without getting some major shit. But I think I found one. So I'm going September 1997 to September 1998, and I'm taking The Undertaker.
Oh,
Because you get the 2 Michaels matches, including the Hell in the Cell, which I think is the best Hell in the Cell still to this day. You get the casket match, which is great. Then you get the whole feud, the build up with Kane in there involved too. You get the destroying of Mick Foley at King of the Ring. And then you finish off with the Highway to Hell with Austin.
Yeah.
And so in terms of his whole career, I think this might be his most consistent 12-month period.
you gotta think the other contender would be like WrestleMania 23 to 24, probably, because you
But
got
I
all the Batista series, and that gets old, after a while.
But also, it's because he goes away for a while, and we end up with Batista and Edge for like half the year.
In 07?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah, he
guess,
got hurt.
Yeah.
I
Because he
thought.
comes back at Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
The flaming casket.
I didn't realize like how deep this draft was going to be, and I thought I might be in the bind. So as a funny pick on round 6, I was going to pick Undertaker WrestleMania 27 through 28. It's just those 2 matches. Whatever. Throw it in. 2 for 2.
All right, that's Chad's pick.
No,
So I'm up.
we're gonna have we're deep enough. I am going
she
to
said.
go Eddie Guerrero. SummerSlam 2003 through SummerSlam 2004. Let me double check. You may not can get both of those. If not, we'll take 2004. So we get the
Angle.
get the angle stuff, and I don't think you would get both.
So are we
But
going
yeah,
04 to 05 or
it'd be August 03 through August 04. You just
So you want to
it
get
would be-
SummerSlam 04 in.
I do want SummerSlam 04.
okay?
Just to get the angle match. But yeah, I mean, so the 03 stuff is whatever. I don't think it's like it's not on the this isn't on the list because of that, but I don't think it's awful. But then his 2004 I think is fantastic. So, you get the Brock match, you get the angle matches, and then to me the cornerstone of this is actually JBL stuff. I know it's like we all have like those matches that we really are just honed in on, but the Judgment Day 2004 JBL match, the Bloodbath, that to me is a masterpiece. Like, that's one of my top 20 matches probably in promotion history. Like, it's just everything about that feels like a brawl, and really resonated. And I think he had the character stuff too, so that's my pick.
Can't
All right.
go wrong with that. JT, you get to go back to back to close out your draft.
It's tough because I got 4. I've been haggling in my mind, and none of them went that last round. So, all right. First up, I'm going to head to early 1997, starting at, I guess, March 14th, whatever. It's not going to go all the way to March. I believe March 14th, 1998 is WrestleMania 14, right? Is that the date? So I'm going to go Shawn Michaels. I'm going to get, him and Austin as a team. I'm going to get the match of King of the Ring. I'm going to get all of the Hart Foundation DX. I'll get the Bad Blood match with Taker, and then all the Tyson stuff up until 14. I was back and forth on this because it is, his stuff from Mania till his teaming with Austin is a little shaky, but DX is like too good to pass up. It's like some of the best heel work in company history, and just awesome TV at the time. And to get the Hell in a Cell, it's worth it. So. And I wanted to get Shawn. I felt like that was the best shot at him.
I
because I
think
didn't
he's
anyone was gonna pick
difficult to
96.
hone in on too. He has.
He's surprisingly, shockingly difficult.
Yeah.
There's no.
Mhm.
You'd think there'd be more, but I mean, we just went through his whole 96, and it's like there's some good stuff. I mean, you could probably go.
I mean, 96, I think a lot of people would turn to, and it's really hurt by the TV.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not like if you just look at the pay-per-view, it's there, but the TV's not.
You can maybe go like SummerSlam 95 to 96, and you get the Razor ladder match.
Good friends, better enemies.
Yeah, you get
You
some
get
of the
that.
stuff.
I mean, the build we talked about sucks, but it would stink not to get the Foley match.
Right.
I mean, I
yeah,
think
that's
that's
what you
like the
want.
actual
Yeah.
best match of the whole.
I think that's the problem with Shawn. It's not that it's hard to pen down a 12-month period where he has great matches. It's hard to do it without leaving something that you really want in there off.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And
I mean, I'm sure there's years in the modern and the return that are, I debated like SummerSlam 02 to 03 to get the
Yep.
Triple H match and Jericho and all that, but
There's not enough in there. Like, there's
it's light.
Yeah, even his
pretty
stuff,
light.
even his stuff with the Rockers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like 89 would be awful for him because the Rockers were great.
All right. So with my last pick, I had to get this guy on the list, my all-time favorites. That is Kurt Angle, and I'm going to go June 01 to June 02,
Oh,
which gets you King of the Ring with, again, Shane, gets you the Austin feud that you talked about earlier, Chad, all that stuff on TV. That was awesome. And then it gets you the Edge series is pretty good. It gets you the Hogan match at King of the Ring. I debated. I went back and forth all afternoon on August to August to get the Ray match at SummerSlam 02, but I preferred the Shane at King of the Ring, and the angle on TV in June, July, and August was worth, I think, like giving up the Ray match.
I had Angle on the list. It was from October 2000 to October 2001.
that's the date range I had.
You got both No Mercies with it. You
Yeah.
get the Shane match still, but yeah.
But I really wanted his. I guess I would have gotten SummerSlam too.
Yeah, I was thinking April 02 to April 03.
He's got a lot of options.
They're all valid.
Jeez.
Do you get both No Mercies for 2001?
Yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah. Is anyone taking that? I don't want to take anyone's pick. I'm gonna switch to that if no one's gonna give a shit. I'll go to that because 02
what's
is
that
really
range?
good.
What's that range now?
It's
October
October
2000, October 2000, October 01.
0,000.
Because then you get the whole everything with the Austin stuff.
I think,
winning
yeah, I
the
mean, I think that's good because when you look at the Alliance stuff
Yeah.
at the end of 01, it gets a little
shaky. Yeah.
haywire. Yeah. I mean, really, once he lost that 3-way at No Mercy, it was like, all right, like they're phasing him down a little bit.
Yeah, he bounces back a little bit. I mean, you get the Rumble 02 is pretty fun, but then WrestleMania is this Kane. So I like the Edge series, but I'd rather have the Benoit series anyway. So
Yeah, I think that's good.
Well, Chad, I think you're my last hope for anything WCW on here.
Oh, we
It was
can't do
no, we're doing WWE
No,
only.
no, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
WCW.
I didn't know that it was
Oh,
WWF.
God, no, it would have been a very different list.
Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely would have.
WCW could be its own draft.
Yeah, that's its own
I'm
thing.
sitting
No,
here.
it's
I'm
WWE
sitting here, and I'm like, ain't nobody take Lex Luger yet?
Oh, yeah,
Like, what is
yeah.
going on?
No, no, no.
Yeah, no, WWE only.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Okay,
gonna say
make-
take like something from the 70s or whatever.
Oh no, I wasn't even a twinkle in a twinkle at that point.
Hey,
But
yeah.
Chad, you are up.
I guess I got a gimmick going, and I'm really gonna hammer it home that I'm the modern guy. Nobody before 2000. Um, and I don't know. This is a surprising pick, even as I say it, but I'm gonna do Johnny Gargano and take over Philly through
Wow.
Takeover Phoenix. You
I
get
did
the
not see that
Almas
coming.
match, you get the Ciampa feud, and then you get the Ricochet match too to book
I
it.
love that Ricochet match.
So I mean,
I was
in
there
ring
live for that match.
quality,
It's incredible.
great.
I did not see that coming.
Yep, there you go. Modern wrestling chatty.
I tried so hard with Gargano, but like I kept coming back to what I kept saying in the GWWE, which is like, I just never want to watch these matches again. And I'm like, oh, then I can't put it on the list. And it's
But
too
that
bad.
is his best stuff. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah, I agree.
that's probably the most rewatchable stuff if you had to have it, because you don't get the Cole.
Not Cole
Fest
is
to
the
New York.
wrong one, yeah.
The Cole feud was tough for me. The third Ciampa match it's like, all right, guys, but it's still like if you're invested in that feud, but yeah.
Listen, you got to stop calling him Ciampa.
Ciampa.
That's like Criscola right there.
I can't say him and Lawler. Those are the two. And I actually said Lawler pretty good there.
There you go. What do you normally say for Lawler?
Lawler.
Oh, like Lawler? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
like lawyer.
Fucking Lawler.
He definitely needs a Lawler.
Ciampa.
Tomato
You could also
champs.
go with Gargano. Could have gone, like August 16 to 17. So you got the DIY revival stuff in there.
You could. Can I make my pick now? No.
Yes. Did you like
Not
that
to
pick?
steal a pick or anything.
No. Like it's like I feel like it's an embarrassment of riches right now. Like, and I'm actually like, I don't know what to pick because like there's like so many good things left.
Here, I will help you make your pick.
All right.
Pick the top pick on your board that is unselected.
No, that's the problem I'm having is I don't want to pick it.
Then pick
Because
the
look-
last thing on your list.
This pick was always going to be Sid Justice. I don't care if it's only 3 months. I don't care. But I'm not doing that now because there's too much on the board. Okay. September 2001
September.
to September 2002. Give me The Rock. This is, and I want you to know this is the third highest pick on my board, but it feels insane that he's not picked.
Yeah.
I
That's
would
why I
have
took
liked.
Sean. It was the same thing. I'm like, how do you not have like one Sean year on here?
I have a Sean higher than him on this list, but I don't know, man. This feels right because his run here is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like you get the, the stuff with Booker T is fun, but he's great in the Alliance stuff. You get all the, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. You get the Jericho stuff in this era too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good pick for the 6th round, I feel. You get an incredible match at, I love the, that's in 2001. I just love the build and everything to WrestleMania 18. I think he's so good in that. And then you get him back in the summer. I know he's inactive, but that triple threat at Vengeance is
It's worth it. Yeah,
phenomenal.
Vengeance and SummerSlam alone.
And then he
are
puts
worth
over Brock, and that Brock match is incredible. So I
it.
left
That's another
a lot-
reason I had considered Angle August 01 02 was to get the Ray match, but also the Vengeance match. But like I said, I
Yeah.
wanted the Shane one, but
Yeah. So like I think I left some good stuff on the board that might be ahead of it, but I think The Rock's a solid pick.
well, it feels like we have all the big stars. Like with Riddle taking Cena. So we got Cena, Rock, Shawn, Hogan, Austin, Kurt, Flair, Savage,
Yeah.
Reigns, Brett. Like I feel like we Punk. Like I feel like Brian. Like I feel like we have every keystone star of the modern era. I mean, obviously, unless Riddle takes him, we don't have like Bruno or anything.
Taking
But
Bruno?
like we have, we have all the big names out here. No Andre or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
I'm
like,
trying to
it's-
think on who you might not have yet.
Oh,
I was trying to.
I got it. Yeah, there's one. I got
There's
two
one.
that would be my next two, but go ahead, Steve.
There's one for sure.
Yeah.
Man, this
Is
is
Steve going to sing Bohemian Rhapsody now? Because that would be fitting.
that's man, this is
I see a little silhouette of a Steve.
Scaramouche.
Riddle me this.
You know what? I know. I'm sure Aaron obviously wasn't going to try to steal my thunder, but only because I just having just rewatched it very recently in terms of my chrono watching. I'm also going to take a year for The Rock, but I'm going to go April 2000 to April 2001.
Yep.
You have, I that WrestleMania 4-way, I like that match a lot more than a lot of other people do. But I mean, the backlash, is a great match. I mean, the pop Austin gets when he comes out to save Rock is just incredible. The Iron Man at Judgment Day, I think, is criminally forgotten as to how epic of a match it was. The 6-man King of the Rings was okay, but the Benoit match at Fully Loaded is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Triple Threat SummerSlam is really good, even though Angle gets concussed. The 4-way at Unforgiven is pretty good. The match with Angle at No Mercy is great. The match with Rikishi at Survivor Series is surprisingly fun. Obviously, the Hell in a Cell at Armageddon, it speaks for itself. He has a great showing in the Rumble. Then the match with Angle and No Way Out is great, and then obviously the match with Austin at 17 speaks for itself. And then you include
Do
obviously
you get
the
both
team-
manias? No, you don't need. You don't care, right? Who gives a shit about 2000? So you're good. So as long as you get April 1st, 01, that's what matters.
I
Yes,
think
and
you still
well, I
get
think
both though.
2000 was April 2nd. So,
Okay, so you're good.
So
yeah,
you do get.
both.
So,
Right.
you
So
get
it's like
both,
it's like 5 to 6. You get both.
Yeah, you get both. So, and again, just the TV in between, and during that time when they were kind of they were without their golden goose in Austin, I think Rock slid into that role very easily and very comfortably, and he picked up the slack big time. Obviously, he had great supporting players with him: Triple H, Benoit, Jericho, Taker, Kane, Angle. So, it was just such a really great run for him, and I think that's a great way to close things out.
There
Yeah,
it is.
you mean you can't go wrong, and just like that, what is this? 6-4 to 24, 24 up, 24 down here. Recapping the draft before we go over what's still on our honorable mentions list. We've got Steve with the first overall pick going Brett from November 96 to November 97, Sammy Zane from April 22 to April 23, Daniel Bryan from April 13 to April 14, The Demolition from April 89 to April 90, the John Cena from September 06 to September 07, and the Rock from April 00 to April 01. Aaron goes second, has Stone Cold from December 97 to December 98, the Ric Flair from November 91 to November 92, Macho Man from March 91 to March 92, Roman Reigns from August 20 to August 21, The Undertaker from September 97 to September 98, and then The Rock from the same date range, but 01 to 02. Chad went third, had June 11 to June 12, Stone Cold from December 2000 to December 2001, Brock Lesnar from August 2014 to August 2015, Chris Jericho from May 08 to May 09, Eddie Guerrero from August 03 to August 04, and John Gargano from January 18 to January 19. And then we've got JT and bringing up the back end of the pack with Mr. McMahon from April 98 to April 99, Hulk Hogan from April 86 to April 87, Stone Cold Steve Austin from November 96 to November 97, the Ultimate Warrior from April 98 to April 99, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels from March 97 to March 98, and then Kurt Angle from October 2000 to October 2001. What?
Another win for me. Another one for the kids.
It's solid.
Chalk it up.
It is. It's tough to say. Like, just looking back at everything, I think maybe because I'm just fuzzy on a couple of these years in general, but the listening audience and the viewing audience definitely has their work cut out for them if they're even giving us draft grades. But Aaron, of your list of 47, how many did you have to mark off? How much did we take from that list?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10.
Okay,
Crazy.
so almost half the draft
Yeah,
was
like
on your board, not
Oh,
including your picks.
yeah, not including mine.
So then half the draft board was included.
Yeah, and I
If
mean,
you count his 6, yeah.
there were so many like the Sean one. I was like that was higher on my list was April 2008 to April 2009 because you get all the Jericho stuff and you get the Undertaker feud and the Undertaker match. When we talked about tag teams, I was right on the cusp of taking the Revival from December 15 to December 16 because you get both American Alpha takeovers, you get both Gargano Ciampa matches.
Yeah.
Champer.
I think like
It is
sneaky,
Escalade.
I'm actually surprised nobody took AJ Styles 2016.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
that was
right.
one of the
Rumble
four.
2016
That was-
to Rumble
that was a good
2017 as
choice.
well. Yep.
Yeah, that was on my. When I said I had 4 picks, it was Sean, Kurt, AJ from April to April, and then Triple H, January 2000 to January 2001.
See, that's the
With
one.
the whole
That's
Foley
the big
feud,
glaring
the Benoit
question.
matches, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's also too like I think there's a sneaky women's pick here, which was Bailey from July 2015 to when she debuts on the main roster. I think that's an incredible babyface run.
I was just too fuzzy on like I was thinking, oh, there must be a Charlotte run or something. Like, but I was just like, I'm too fuzzy on the exact dates
Yeah.
and the modern
Yeah.
stuff. To, like, nail
I
it
was
down.
almost thinking Bailey when she turned heel on October 19 to October 20.
That was good too. It's just so much of that is
Right.
during the pandemic, so it's hurt.
Trash.
And another
Right.
sneaky one that I think like I probably would have gotten heat for the pick, but the matches are all incredible. From Takeover New Orleans to Takeover New York, Velveteen Dream. He was like on another
I would
level.
take it honestly, like a star that will be maligned for
Forever.
probably all the right reasons.
Yeah.
But 2, the work was scandal proof. The man, not so much.
no, but
but,
every match was like this match of survival that he had to go through, which was so much fun.
And
So if you hate him, it was good for you to watch.
right, and you stack on top of that the character work that Velveteen Dream did
Yeah, he was very good.
through all of those matches, it's borderline. It's borderline up there.
I had Brett August 93 to August 94 as well, where you get the Lawler
Yeah.
stuff, and then like you get the Brett Quebecers match, you get the Owen stuff.
The
You
problem
get his
with that,
title
yeah.
reign.
The problem with that one is you get that awful Survivor Series match.
I know, but you get the kid match on Raw, like that helps offset
Yeah.
it. So there's like a lot of good stuff in there, and,
Well,
and
I
you
mean,
get the Brett
you c-
moment of winning at 20.
I mean, you could do it. You could do it like from right after that match and get all that stuff.
Yeah, but the
just,
fall of '94 is just as crappy. I mean, I guess you could.
Oh, you get Backlund.
Yeah, but I really wanted the Lawler match at SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I assume you get both. I didn't look at the exact dates yet, but I don't know if you get both SummerSlams. And then also, I looked at Brock August 13 to August 14
Oh,
because
yeah.
you'd get the Punk match and then you get the Streak Ender.
But you don't get.
But you don't get a lot else otherwise. Yeah, you don't.
right.
You don't get SummerSlam 14, and he doesn't do much else. You get the Big Show match in Pittsburgh, but
Was anybody else thinking about Brock his first year?
I thought about it. Yeah.
That's a
02 to
really strong one
03.
too. Yeah, because you get the Rock stuff and you get the Undertaker like Hell in a Cell, and if you stretch it right, you get the main event of 19, which is excellent.
Yeah. I also thought about doing Kurt from April 02 to April 03 because you got like all the SmackDown 6 stuff, and then the Brock match at Mania. I also thought about Edge and Christian from
I
Mania
had that too.
2000 to Mania 2001, just for the TLC stuff.
Who are the biggest names you had on your list that were not picked?
Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
April 1980 through April 1981 is a great stretch where you get the Patera, Texas Death Match, you get the Slaughter stuff, some Hanson stuff. It's a great year.
I mean Triple H, I think, and up there is like the biggest name. not
Triple H.
taken.
I went October 99 through October 2000 for him. Batista wasn't selected. I think he's kind of tough to lock down. I had
Orton
WrestleMania
too.
23 through 24.
Yeah,
but
Orton. Yeah.
I didn't
What
love
about
it.
nobody picked Foley either, but he's another one.
Foley
Right.
was also tough to lock down. The
Yeah.
problem I had with Foley is it's almost like, in many ways, his worst run is Fall '99, and then it's followed up by like his best for that 2 month stretch
Right.
versus Triple H.
You
It's
can
like
maybe go
anytime-
like September '96 to '97 because then you get all the Triple H stuff, but you also get the Shawn
Yeah.
match and you get some of the end of the Taker stuff. Yeah, he's a tough one. I had what's the other one on here? I'm surprised all the Hogan's went. Like none of us took the Mega Powers run
Uh,
of Hogan or Savage.
I thought
which
about
was surprising.
Savage 88 to 89
yeah,
from
so
4 to 5.
the Savage I did have was April '88 through April '89,
Yeah.
but excusing the
Tournament.
the WrestleMania 4, like starting
you don't get
after
both.
that.
Yeah.
So you get the DiBiase like MSG matches, and then I've really liked, like, I'm watching April 1989 right now, and I love the way he turns completely heel so quick. Because when you get to that MSG and that Maple Leaf Garden show
Mhm.
at the end of April '89, like him and Sherry are just, I mean,
They're awesome.
completely full on heels. Yep.
Not only Edge
Yeah.
and Christian, you could have gone the Hardys April to April
Yeah.
as well. Like, I mean, it just kind of depends on who your
Dudley's.
favorites are.
If you go Jeff Hardy like mid 2000, like August, you get the two SummerSlams from SummerSlam 2000 to SummerSlam
Yeah.
2001.
You
Because
get
then you also
Invasion,
get the
too.
RVD stuff in there
Yeah.
with it.
The,
And him winning the IC title from Triple H.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one that could have went a sneaky one. I mean, Rollins from like I had him from November 14, November 15. So you get the Survivor Series with Sting, you get the Rumble match, the three-way, you get the cash in, and you get like the early parts of his reign, plus the Cena match, the SummerSlam, the Sting match. Like, so that's one I had. If we had like 8 or 9 picks, he might have gotten in. He was down the list, but the AJ is like, to me, is like the biggest one because that year is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambrose was a tough one to hammer down too.
Yeah, but there's nothing really, for him.
And then the other one I had was this Punk March of 12 to March of 13. So you would have had like kind of you missed the fall. I was trying to think, like, so then you get his dominant run of all of 12 and you get the Taker match at 13. If you did
I was thinking about Sammy also for like his NXT run, like how
yeah.
this is like, maybe
Well-
like December 13 to 14, where he wins the title from Neville. Plus, you also got the match with Cesaro at Arrival, even though it's not as good as the 2 out of 3.
I'm just not as sharp on NXT. I tried to think on some of the stuff, but it's like there's other guys in there. Sure.
I'm surprised like Kevin Owens didn't go.
Yeah.
Like Kevin from his NXT debut until a year after that, I think, because he's not in. Is he in NXT for a full year?
No, he's in it for a
No,
few
right.
months, like 6 months.
Yeah,
But
and
you
then
want to
he
get
gets called
you
up
want to
and
get the
he's-
Cena matches, so you want to get at least until
Right.
whatever that is, July.
Yeah, you could do
15.
that. You could do like the takeover. What's it called? The one in December 14 and go to December 15, and you'll get all that good stuff.
Yeah.
The Sammy run that I was thinking about was takeover Dallas to WrestleMania the next year, because you get the
with him
Nakamura
versus
match.
Nakamura.
But then you
Yeah.
get, when he comes to the main roster, he's in all those Intercontinental matches with The Miz and Cesaro. He's got a great feud with Owens at Battleground. They have an incredible match. So
And do you also get the open challenge?
no, that's in 15.
No, that was a year before.
That was okay.
Yeah, in Montreal.
Okay.
All right. Well,
yeah,
that
this
was a
is-
lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about maybe doing the WCW one like we hinted at. But if you have any that we didn't name as honorable mentions or take, like, let us know in the comments for sure. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another draft yet again. And of course, next week, Aaron and I will be here breaking down another installment of our greatest WWE World Title Change project that we got going on. So check out everything we have to offer at the North South Connection. We're doing video content every day, whether it's long form podcasts or shorts. And then we have audio only content as well. And then we have some crossover stuff. So if you go to northsouthconnection.com, you'll catch everything, or just follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're all over it. Want to thank everyone involved. Thank you for watching. Drop the Dookie. We're out. Talk to you soon.
Sid, if you're listening, I'm sorry I didn't pick you.
Bogus!